Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and thank you for starting this week off with me here as we continue through these last couple of chapters of the book of Proverbs. And so, if you would like to follow along, we'll be in the 30th chapter. We're going to just cover one proverb today, and verse 17. And I have, through the entire book, tried to cover entire sections or paragraphs, but this particular section is way too large for us to cover in one setting, and so I'm having to break it down a little bit. The whole section would go from verse 15 through verse 33, and there's just too much there. So we're just going to cover it little bits at a time and hopefully be able to wrap it all up when we get to the end of the section. And what we're looking at here, beginning in verse 10, really, if you really go back to the very beginning, is Agur has looked around at the people around him, looked at the culture, looked at the environment, and is writing words of admonition, words of caution, words of instruction to help the people of that time. And so we are. That is the section we're looking at, and the particular part we're looking at now is where he is, I guess you'd say, not being really exactly critical of the age, but warning. Giving those who would listen a word of caution, encouraging them to live differently. And so we're going to look at one verse today. Again, and going back to a topic that's come up several times in the book of Proverbs, and that is our relationship with our parents. The eye that mocketh at his father and despiseth to obey his mother. The ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. If you dishonor, disobey, disrespect your parents, he says there is a severe punishment for those who rebel against the leadership, the God-given position of their parents. He really, the description there of the punishment he gives is an extremely kind of grotesque picture as he describes it. You got the dead bodies laying on the ground, and again the ravens come by, and again he says here. Notice he says in the first of it the eye, and so now he says you disrespect your parents. The ravens come by and pick out your eyes. And they pick out your eyes, and then the bigger birds, the young eagles, come along and actually eat the eyes out of the corpse. And I mean, as gross as that is, as horrible as a picture as it is, it was even worse for that time, because again, and today we'd probably still get a little upset about it. But when a body went unburied in their day, it was, I mean, that was just like the one of the greatest. I want to say undignity, disdignity, neither one of those are words. One of the greatest shows of disrespect on a human being. I think that's the way to say it. When your body went unburied, and it was considered in particular to be significant of the fact that you were being that you were being judged by God when your corpse went unburied. And so it's those two lines to you and I sound pretty rough, to have your eyes picked out and the birds eat them. But it would have been even more significant to those people. And what he's just reminding us, and what he's saying is, if you dishonor your parents, the punishment is going to be very severe. Pretty much, if you think it up, that's the punishment for it. It's going to be that painful of a punishment. And so again, as we have in several places in this book, been reminded of the importance of honoring father and mother. And one of the immediate responses you get to this anytime this comes up is, well, if you knew my father and mother, if you knew how they acted, how they treated me. I don't see anywhere where it says honor your father and mother if they are great parents, honor your father and mother. No, it just says honor your father and mother. Here it doesn't say the eye that mocks at his father, unless he's a bad father. If he doesn't obey his mother, well, unless she's a bad mother. It doesn't say that. It says respect your father, obey your mother, or there's judgment, there's punishment to be had. And again, those are important words for us today. That we're teaching that. A lot of young people and who so many people in society today criticize and are very critical of young people. But my observation, and I think you will have to agree with this at least to some extent, is much of what's wrong with our young people is a result of their parents not teaching them and training them any better. And so let's work to teach our children the importance of respect, of mothers and fathers and people who hold authority, police officers, etc., that we teach our young people respect. And we do that once again by that same pattern I've talked about a number of times. First of all, you can't just teach it. We have to model it. We have to show it in how we treat people as well. Something to think about today. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.